All right. Hey guys, Dr. Shields here. Today I wanted to touch base with you about the proper mindset. In helping patients now over the last 15 years, I can't stress to you enough about the importance of having the proper mindset to help you achieve your best life possible and to achieve your goals. And, in my 30s, I was introduced to the be, do, have model. And I have to say that the first time I heard it made an impact, but now looking back at what that really meant to me, it's really changed its meaning. It's become even more important to me now than it was then, because I don't really think I understood and appreciated what the be do have model was and what it meant for me. So hopefully today I can help you understand what the be do have model is and what it can mean for your life. And the easiest way to explain this model is to break down the concept into three different categories. In the first category, the first type of person is the rationalizer. Now, this type of person is somebody that lacks the proper resources for what they want. And we're going to go over that more in detail, I promise. The next is the achiever. This is the person who lacks the B component in their quest for their goals. And this is somebody that's also quite often what we call also the doer. So the achiever is the doer. And the last one is the self-actualizer. And this is the person who's accomplished their goals, who feels that they're not lacking in any way and are happy in who they are being with their life. And as we walk through this today, I hope it all makes sense, and I'll try to put together, but these obviously can be quite difficult sometimes trying to explain the different psychologies that go behind these. But let's start with the rationalizer. This personality's approach to many of life's challenges is the have, do, be approach. And in this approach, this person's going to ask themselves, what do I need to have so that I can do a certain task so that I can be happy, successful, and healthier? With this model, the person then states to themselves basically that the world that they are in is lacking the resources, that they're lacking the resources to be able to do what it is that they want to do or achieve in their life. A good example of this person and what this person would say is, I would like to be more physically fit because it would help me be more confident and more healthy. But for me to become more physically fit, I would have to have more time, or I would need, for example, they say they have to have more time. Or they might say, you know what, I need to maybe have a gym membership, but I can't have a gym membership because I don't have the financial resources to get one. Or they would say, I would exercise, but I don't know what it is that I need to do. Or I would need to find somebody that could help me or to show me what I need to do, because I don't want to make a mistake in doing it, but I don't know anybody that can help me, so therefore I can't really exercise right now. Or they might say, I would exercise and I would be more fit if I didn't have a bad knee. And you can obviously see the flaws with this thinking, because these rationalizers are depriving and limiting themselves, and they're saying to themselves that they're unable to be or do certain things because they don't have the right tools or resources. That they're waiting to have something in order to do something to be a particular way. And I think we have all probably been rationalizers at some point in our lives. I don't know about you, but I've often said I'd like to be a more selfless person, somebody that would be more giving or more charitable. But with that said, I often follow that up with, well, I would need more time or I'd need more finances in order for me to do that. But once again, I've fallen into the trap of needing something to have something in order to be a certain way or to do a certain thing. So, what are we waiting for? What have I been waiting for? Can't I find more ways to be charitable? Can't I find more ways to be giving? Can't I find more ways to be selfless right now? And the truth is I can't. And that's the problem, is that rationalizers typically have an excuse for the way that the lives are. They feel disempowered on their abilities to accomplish great things. They often use excuses like their genetics. They say, well, my mother, my father, they were this way, so that's where I'm this way. Or they'll say that it's their age or their education or their family or their doctors or their finances that have limited their potential. And oftentimes with these rationalizers, unfortunately, they are powerless, or they feel powerless in their journey and their abilities to be well and to do and to be who it is that they want to become. The next type of person is the achiever. These people also are typically do a lot, and in many cases more than they need to do. And I think there's some of you who are watching this right now, you know who you are, but you do more than most people would do before noon. I mean, you guys are the type A's. You drive faster, you walk faster, and you have a list of all the things that you're doing on a daily basis. And if we stay with our example we talked about earlier, let's say somebody decides that they want to become more fit. These doers will actually do it. They will exercise, they will juice, they will cleanse, they will seek training from the best in the world, and they'll do everything in their power to become more fit. But why do these worker personalities try so hard? Maybe they were hoping to become more accepted, to become more loved, to have a higher level of confidence. They say to themselves, the more I do, the more I'll have, the happier and the more accepted I'll become, the more loved I'll become, the more confidence I'll have, and then therefore, the more I'll be. And the achiever, when it comes to becoming more giving, more charitable, more selfless, oftentimes this person will also say, well, first off, I need to make sure I do enough. I'll make sure I have enough time or money, then I become more selfless and more charitable. And you guys have seen this in those commercials where the people say that when they retire, they're going to start donating their time and they're going to travel to help other impoverished people. But did they have to wait until they retired to do those things? So you can see again how flawed this approach can be. Why does the achiever have to do more, to have more, to give more? Can't the achiever find more ways to be more charitable, to be more giving and more selfless now? And of course they can. The problem is that most achievers, the more achievers do, the more there is still lacking, the more that is to be done, and the more they feel that they are lacking. These achievers are defined by their accomplishments, by what they do. In turn, they become more absorbed in doing and staying busy, and then ultimately these people burn out because they can never be enough. They can never do enough. I've seen this in my own experience in my life, and I've seen this in many of my achievers' lives, is that they have the disease that I've self-named moritis. And it's a made-up psychological term I've made up, so please don't look for it. This is my term. But moritis in itself is a mental condition of never feeling one has enough and constantly is emotionally pressuring themselves to obtain more and of hopes of making themselves feel more whole. That there's an emptiness, there's a hole in many of these people's hearts that they feel that they need to fill with doing more. No matter how much they work, no matter how much they accomplish, the achievers will find it difficult to be who they really want to be. The truth is that we all want to be the type of person who feels a sense of peace, who has a sense of purpose, who has serenity and joy and happiness. And it's more difficult for these personality types to experience these feelings because there can be an unhealthy sense of lack of that's overpowering these other emotions. No matter how much the achiever exercises, no matter how fit they become, no matter how much they give, they will always arrive to the same conclusion that they're not where they want to be because they didn't understand initially is who were they trying to become through all of this. And I can't tell you, for example, I can't tell you how many times I've helped somebody lose weight and accomplish their goals, and they seem that the more fit they feel like the more they initially thought that the more fit they would become, that the healthier they become, that they would be happier. But the truth is that many of these people are still lacking. They still feel unloved. They still feel not worthy. They still feel a lack of. And so it turns out this whole time, if they really stopped and they reflected back, they said, you know, the reason I want to become more fit, the reason I want to do more exercise, to have more fitness, is so that I can be more accepted, that I can be more loved, that I can feel better about myself. But they didn't have to wait. This is the trick, guys. This is the trick. They didn't have to wait to do those things, to have those things, to be a certain way. You know, there's people out there that are terribly unfit, that are terribly unhealthy, that are very happy with who they are. And so we oftentimes tie that we are going to have to wait to get to somewhere. And, you know, I remember in schooling myself, I remember thinking, well, when I get out of college, and when I get out of college, when my practice gets to this level, when it gets to here, and when I have a family, and when I move to a certain house, and we always keep putting these things further out from us, and we keep hoping that the more that we do, the more that we have, the more that we're going to become who it is that we really want to be. But the truth is that we can be who it is that we want to be right now. And I still think about one of the quotes I read almost on a daily basis. It stays basically that what we want now is that peace and the happiness, but we don't need to wait for it. Ultimately, we need to be that right now things can be better, but they can only be better if they get right now, if they get better right now. Let me back up. I'm sorry. This is kind of confusing. That ultimately, things won't get better now until they get better right now. Things won't get better right now until they get better right now. Because remember, guys, we don't have a tomorrow. All we have is a today. And so many of us right now keep waiting for tomorrow. And we keep hoping that tomorrow will bring a better day. But realistically, all we have is right now. So things have to be better right now, or they'll never be better right now. And that's where these doers and these achievers get stuck, is they keep thinking that if they keep achieving, that eventually they're going to be where they want to be. But the truth is they can already be here. So let's look at the last personality type now, and that's the being personality. This person is in the flow of be, do, have. People with this personality ask themselves the questions first: what kind of things would I like to accomplish in my life, in my career, financially and relationally and spiritually? But they don't stop there. They ask themselves, and they continue to ask themselves, why do I want this goal? Is there a feeling, an emotion, an underlying motive to why I have set this goal? So for those of you out there saying, I want to be more fit, why? For those of you who say, I want to be more charitable, more giving, why? What's the motivating emotion? What's the drive? What are you looking to accomplish? What feeling, what emotion are you looking to accomplish by achieving this goal? And in some cases, the goals we set aren't really what we want or even need. They are attempts to make us feel a particular way. The problem is, even when we accomplish the goal, it won't be long until the emotions change back to our true being. So for the person that thought they were going to have more self-confidence when they lost the weight, the truth is that their nervous system has been trained, their subconscious has been trained to bounce back to where it used to be. So we have to change our being. So when we set a goal, the better place to start is by asking ourselves, what are the emotions? What are the feelings I'm hoping to accomplish with this goal? And what will this accomplishment not only mean to me, but my family, my friends, and to my loved ones? And what type of person will I need to be to actually accomplish this goal? And who do I want to be? So back to our earlier example of when we were asking about being more fit. The being personality type would ask, why do I really want to become more fit and healthier? Who will it affect? And why is it important that I do this? And what is lost? Guys, that's important. What is lost if I don't actually accomplish this? Who do I need to become to be a healthier, more physically fit person? What characteristics do healthy people, to fit people, have? What are their belief systems? What are their values? Where do they spend their money on? Who do they hang out with? What are the rules that they've set for themselves? What type of things do they do? What type of things do they read? And how do they feel about themselves? Once the being personality type, or once the being person gets a clear idea of who they want to be and what they want to change, and even a clear picture of who they need to be, they then take action. The being personality knows and understands that the first step to achieving anything in life isn't doing things, but instead first understanding the emotional journey that it is going to be required to become something. Start with your be and see where it takes you. Start with your be and see where it leads you. And that will help everything come into play. So really ask yourself, why is it? Who is it I'm trying to become? And start there. So I hope that helps, guys. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Until next time, get well, stay well.